different deal. Do we gotta be separated? I don't know, it's complicated.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Frontline Youth Podcast.
Hallelujah.
This is one of your hosts, Elijah Tijero. I'm here with my co-host,
Elijah. Sorry about the clap, y'all. We'll
we
fix
still
it.
ain't got a better one. You're right. This underwater crap.
You know, it's
got
crazy.
him. You see,
Delete.
we are
delete
not
everything.
alone here
Oh,
today in the studio.
We are not. You are not alone. Are you here with you? Though you're far away.
I don't know the words.
Ooh. Tamaya's here to stay.
You can't. She's supposed to
said my
introduce
name.
herself.
But I appreciate the
No,
intro.
we got to
No,
start
no,
over.
no. Nah, we're good. We're
We got
good.
to
was
start
beautiful.
over.
We could. They'll never have that again. They have Michael Jackson with a voice crack featured on the.
That's Michael Jackson.
I think right. Yeah.
You are not alone.
Tamaya,
That's not
introduce
Fred
yourself.
Hammond.
What? Shut you. All right. What's up?
I thought that was a gospel
what's your name?
song.
Hi, guys.
We're on here with the girl.
I'm the girl,
Hey.
Tamaya Lumpkin.
Dang. First
Yeah,
and last.
that's my last name.
They gonna look you up.
Yep.
No, they're going to Google her.
You
What's
you
her
won't
network?
find a lot. I tried.
You definitely won't find like YouTube comments either.
Yes, you
There's
will.
find like
You'll
2 or
find
3
two.
of them.
I don't know. I've Googled myself, and it pulls up, obviously, our parents. I'm talking to Elijah. We
No,
don't
if you
have to say
Google me, you'll find a project that I did in like 4th grade on the tundra.
that. Yeah.
The Tundra.
And then I think, are you a registered voter? Like, do you have a party registered?
I don't know.
Because if you're registered to a
Oh,
party,
I mean, yes. I'm a
it says
voter.
What? No, I know that.
I think I'm registered.
It'll tell you what your party is, your address,
What?
the number.
My
your
social
family members.
security
No,
number
not
as
that,
well.
Not that.
Hit us up in the comments
But
if you're
yeah,
trying to
it will-
register
it
for
will
a
have
party.
your-
We throw
your-
it down. Sorry. My bad. So, guys.
You've seen the title.
Mm.
You know what's up.
Now, this
Why
is not the
is
type
cheese
of episode.
so much better than tomato sauce? I'm playing.
This is
No,
not
tomato sauce is way better.
than cheese.
Yes.
Well,
I would rather more sauce than cheese on my pizza.
Well,
They're about to click off this
pizza, but
episode.
I know, I'm very sorry. I'm just joking.
if you're eating anything, and you're like, man, I want to add something. If your answer before cheese is tomato sauce, you got a problem. If you're making like some noodles freestyle, and you're like, man, what should I make?
I'm just talking about pizza
But pizza's
and
not the only.
breadsticks. Don't put cheese on breadsticks.
What?
That's
Like the little
disgusting.
crumbles, the Parmesan?
Oh, I guess that's different. I'm talking about when people like stuff it. That's kind of gross.
It's not a breadstick. That's a cheese stick.
Okay, I digress. Go ahead.
Digress.
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 I
digress.
digress.
I digress.
My accent. I'm sorry.
It's my accent.
It's actually my accent.
Okay, so now that all the listeners have clicked off and done something better with their lives, what are we going to talk about in their absence?
Again, the title.
So you guys know the title, right?
Yes.
What I was going to say about 3 years ago is that this is not the kind of episode that would be smart or fully educated to do with just Isaiah and myself.
Yeah.
So we've
haven't
recruited.
trained- Oh, okay. I'm not going
Me.
to actually say that joke.
All right. Me. Tamaya.
What? A female.
Yeah.
Woman.
Okay.
girl.
Side note before we get into this. Personally, to me, this is just my opinion. It is so irritable when guys, unless you're like military or something, but be talking about girls and be, females. Like I was talking to that female over. I just pull all the females. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I agree. That is quite annoying. Something else I find annoying when people say, in my own opinion, personally, when I'm talking about myself, what I think is this.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I hate people who do that. I just hate them.
I wish that they would all stop doing that.
I'm opening my notes.
Yeah, with your 10% battery.
It's 9 now.
Okay.
What a fool.
So I guess we just answer the question in general, and then we go into the details. So, Elijah, can men and women be friends?
Yes, ... Or rather, ... yes. Is my answer.
Great answer.
Dots included.
I love that answer. Tamaya, and then I guess I'll answer after.
Yes, kind of like what Elijah said. There's a lot of extra to that.
Correct. I agree.
Thank you. Got an A.
And I think no. But there's subtext. So no, maybe though. But mainly no. But perhaps. But no.
So that's all we got for today.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Those are our opinions. Feel free to leave. All right.
But yeah, so when asked that question, first of all, answer that question for yourselves in your head. Think about it. Maybe don't answer it in the comments yet because there's going to be a lot of stuff brought up throughout the episode. So, but include that if you want to comment on like whether you think men and women can be friends. Whenever you've listened through the whole episode, start your comment with that just because we're curious.
Also, I feel like I have to mention this because I have to. If you're hearing background noise, conversation, crying babies, screaming children,
They don't hear that.
lively married couples, it is because that's all outside the studio right now.
Yep.
Making a ruckus.
A ruckus. Like
We're gonna push through.
we are.
If you guys can hear us clearly, then I mean, can you really even be distracted? You focus on our voices. Focus on what we're saying.
Oh, all right. So, but interestingly
Why is it
enough,
pause?
when asked in the general public, the consensus is that women say yes,
Men and women can be friends.
yes they can. But Tamaya, what do men say?
Men, you generally will say no. Generally, almost always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They
This is
want
a
to be
true
your
statement.
friend. That's why. That's deep. Honestly, I'm just playing.
It is deep.
Man.
No, but not in our personal experience. This is from surveys online and
Public interviews.
Yeah.
Studies, things of that nature.
whatnot.
And whatnot. Yeah. All right. I'm looking at the next point in the notes, but it's not.
Yep, skip it. So,
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
but yeah, the first thing I thought about when thinking about this discussion is that a lot of people would wonder why this question is even being asked. Because on the surface level, it's like, what the heck? What kind of cultist nonsense is this?
Can people be friends? I don't know.
Right. And like, of course, if you're not a weirdo, then of course you could just be friends. But the question exists and people have differing answers to it according to the populace. That's not just among Christians. That's not just among people of a certain age group. But there are differing answers all around the world. So it must be asked, what is so different about same-sex friendships as opposed to the relationships formed between members of opposite sexes? And now we're speaking on a completely heterosexual bias. I mean, not bias, basis.
Premise. Oh,
Yeah,
basis.
because that's a whole different category if you're homosexual
No hate to homosexuals.
and
but
whatnot.
We're not talking about y'all.
And yeah, listen to the end of the episode. But anyway, yeah. So like, what is really so different about the different kinds? Why is it even a question?
Why is it a question?
Because men and women are different. Like,
Dang, she's right.
Yeah, men and women are different.
How so?
The way you come into a relationship or just even just a friendship, it's just different. If you're gonna come with a woman, as a woman, going to have like the same sex kind of relationship, friendship, it's a lot easier.
So
Because
why?
it's not dangerous.
Yeah. So we've lost the button, but it's not what?
I can't.
Dangerous. Yeah. I'm sorry if you just crashed your car. We'll pray for you.
Why you gotta get it?
I'm trying.
I don't know what her issue is, but y'all, she cannot get the
Try to take the fuzzy off.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that'll do
It's
it.
gonna be scratchy.
It's gonna be loud.
Look, that wasn't
that's
loud.
fine.
Dangerous.
You gotta get way closer. What is all this diss? Yes, that was. Do it.
I can't. Dangerous.
Yes. Oh. Sorry, we got a bit excited there. You could probably put that cover back on so you're not everywhere. But dang, she was beatboxing. Anyway, do you think it's different between you and your female friends than your male possibly friends because of society, or is there something innately different in nature?
Like our human nature? Like
or is it
our
like
human nature, if we have male and female friends, or as human nature, God has made us to be attracted to one another, and so you have that possibility in your mind, especially if that male or female is not married, or even if they are, you gotta guard your heart, like in your mind, to keep it right.
She decided to drop facts early on in the episode.
No, she said
She's not even letting y'all wait. You getting it for free. Don't turn the episode off. There's more.
Yeah. So, in general, the reason that this question is brought up is because there is the capacity for romance. Is how they bring it up every single time. So, I guess when building these kinds of relationships, right? If I'm as a heterosexual individual, right? I almost said the wrong one, but I got it.
Good
I'm
for
here.
you. You almost got very unlucky.
Shush. All right. If I'm like having a deep relation, if I'm like in a great friendship, deep, sharing with like my dog, my homie, who's also a male, as a straight male, there is no potential where I'm like, dang, this could be something greater.
That's very loud. I'm not pushing that again. But yes, I feel you.
But that's not necessarily the same when it comes to relationships. It's not long enough. I'm talking about the keyboard
for
wire,
emergencies.
y'all.
Yeah.
When it comes to a relationship between a man and a woman, because assuming they're both heterosexual,
right,
then there is a potential that these close relationships, being in contact with one another closely and often, can develop into further feelings or whatever.
And so I think a lot of people will say that you can indeed be friends because it's really just dependent on how you feel about each other. And you don't like every girl that you see, and every girl doesn't like every guy that they see. However, the fact that it's based on how you feel is what makes it dangerous, because we don't have to because you cannot control your immediate emotions. You can always control your reactions, the things that you do. Some people, I guess, are better at it than others, but everybody can get good at it if you want to. But the feelings themselves, it doesn't matter how trained and disciplined you are. If it's within your mind to possibly be attracted to somebody, when that attraction comes, you can't delete it.
And then you can't really control what other people think.
Right.
Even if you were able to control your thoughts all the way, there's no way you can tell what they're thinking or what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Big facts. So it's when things become problematic in a cross-sex friendship is when the feelings that one may develop for another, or maybe both for each other, start to manifest themselves in actions and reactions and whatnot, because it changes the nature of the relationship. You can't continue on as regular friends. But if it was two straight dudes, you wouldn't develop those feelings. So, like, you know what I'm saying? The relationship can continue forever as normal as long as you guys don't fall out.
I mean, yes. Stop being friends.
Yes. And one thing for like women to women relationships, I'm able to confide more into a woman because she's more likely to go through the same things that I've been through, versus some guy I'm going to be like, he can't relate to some of the things that I'm going through or I need help with or the experience. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Isaiah, what's your stance on confiding in members of the opposite sex?
You would ask me this.
It's a fun question.
No, it's not. Fun is relative.
Audience, was it fun? Back me up in the comments. All right, go ahead, though.
Thank you, Tamaya. Someone else who shares my disdain for those. All right, moving on. You asked me what is my opinion on confiding in other guys versus confiding in a girl.
Specifically the latter, but you can answer the former as well.
Word. Also, that's the last time I say guys and girls. This is the last time I'm saying men and women from now on, because it's just, I don't know, guys and girls just sounds childish.
I feel like guys is ageless, but girls is
It's
anyway.
like it's a little derogatory almost.
Call them females.
Absolutely not.
Stupid.
No. You know, I guess there's
I hate it when there's that.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
gonna
my
lie.
least favorite.
When
No,
I wake up in the morning, it's like, I know I'm going back to bed.
I just can't stand it. No. Okay.
Wow, I said what?
You'll when you listen back through it, you'll get it.
Yeah, you'll get it once you start paying attention. So I'm playing. Okay. All right. As Tamaya has said, I don't think that men and women will go through the exact same experiences. And even if they do go through the same experience, the way in which they experience said thing might not be the same. We'll go into that later.
Word up.
As opposed to like the relationships in general. You can go through, it's the same exact friendship, but the way you perceive it is not the same. So with that in mind, if I'm confiding in another dude, they're probably more likely to understand exactly the way that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
By confiding. Now, I'm not a girl, so who knows what it's like to be a girl? Tamaya does,
I
but
do.
That doesn't matter though. Who asked
I'm
her?
a female.
I feel like it's very.
I'm sorry.
You gotta stop.
I said girl again.
I know, that's why I said it.
All right, I'm not a woman. Anyway,
I'm not a female.
I'm not one of those.
Was that? I'm sorry. I'm looking out the window at people who are passing by, and I thought it was some old friends in there. But
So that's how you classify them, just because they're a little bit older?
okay, you're. I hate you.
I feel like it's a lot easier for me to talk to a dude about something, and I don't have to say a whole lot. You know what I mean? They're gonna get it. Yeah, I'm going through this. Dang, that's crazy. Want to go play basketball? Want to go do something else? Sure, that's it. That's confiding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, in my experience, if I'm confiding in a woman,
Worst mistake.
worst mistake of
It's
my
terrible.
life.
Like,
It's
come
just
here,
a
let me give you
longer.
a hug.
Yeah, it's a more
do that.
dramatized, extended feelings, emotion based explanation of what's going on. Where while those things are good, they're fine.
Tamaya,
They're not the same.
I think a lot of women will be triggered by that claim that a woman would have an emotional response.
Grow up. Women are emotional.
Damn.
I think, yeah, we just are. We just are. I'm sorry if I hurt you. But I did want to say for the female listening, like,
Here we
so
go.
what if, like,
Female.
you need, or maybe I guess it could be male too, but like, what if you want an opinion that's like opposite of yours? Because sometimes it's not good to have someone that's going to be exactly, that's going to agree with you exactly. Sometimes you need like another perspective, and sometimes a male can give you that perspective, or vice versa.
That's
What do you say
somebody
on that?
Off that skooma, they got a totally different perspective.
Okay.
All right. No, I don't know. Man, at the risk of sounding potentially misogynistic,
Hallelujah.
stop.
Sorry.
And maybe it's just I've never really put thought to it, but I don't think there's been a point in time in which I was like, man, this is how I feel. Let me ask a woman what they think about how I feel. Now, that's not to say I don't think women's opinions are valuable. The reason Tamaya's on the podcast at all is because I don't feel qualified to talk about this topic, or me and you, just us, right? So obviously I value the opinion of women because they go through different experiences, and I don't want to speak for them. However, when it comes to feelings and emotions, they just not going to get it the same way. Gosh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta let that explosion rock out one of these times. Stop cutting it.
I know it's long.
Let
You
the
got to start talking over it.
distraction overcome the podcast. All right, let's move on.
That's
Elijah.
real though. What you just mentioned.
Oh, I mean, I'm just okay. That's from a guy's perspective, but for females, because we are more
we're back to
emotional. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say it.
Females.
From women, I feel like females. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
from these females.
What needs to
They
be
always
Start being like, hey, what up, female?
No, because we are more emotional. How can we? If I go to another person that's equally as emotional as me, I know not all females are. My mom, she's a strong woman.
So if you're emotional, you're not strong.
Oh,
I don't
fight
know.
to the death.
Sorry,
She just can. She has more self control when it comes to that.
That's a good way to put it.
I don't know. What if I can go to her because she has more emotional strength. I don't know what you call that. Or I can go to a male that's gonna like. Oh, so I would go to my father and be like, "Hey, I have this, and this going on." He's like, "Don't be so emotional. Look at it through this." You know, like I think could be a time.
So
for that.
If this helps at all, I don't know this personally. Maybe I may have experienced it here and there personally, but I don't know for sure. But it is commonly said that men, when there's a problem, tend to have like a, okay, let's solve it right now kind of attitude with like a fixed solution of how you deal with it. And then when you deal with it, it's dealt with. And on the good side of things, it can be useful when things are unclear and they need a response instead of doing nothing. But on the bad side, it can be impatient or non-understanding or emotionally cold. And then for as women, it's not so much of a immediate material answer to a problem, but like...
Yeah, I think it's because women are naturally there to be motherly figures, so like they're naturally more nurturing and like bonding for that. So they're gonna apply that to the thing.
Word up.
Yeah.
I'll be applying that to the thing from time to time. No, I don't. All right, go ahead.
What are you talking about,
ahead.
sir?
Go ahead, please.
What do you mean go ahead? Okay, the next thing that's in our notes is your note, and I hate it.
Let me read this joint here.
No, actually, no, that's not the next one.
Dang it.
Yes.
He hates my note. Can y'all believe that?
Going back to the beginning, the
Domestic
first point,
abuse. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I really didn't say anything.
Going back to the first point that we made, the general consensus is that women say yes, men and women can be friends, and men say no. Going off of this, there was a study done in which case they actually took in people in platonic friendships, whatever, and
In supposedly platonic friendships.
it has to be platonic, otherwise what is it?
No doubt.
Sometimes, bro, your brain is I'm trying to hit that bomb button, but I decided to just let it rock.
Yeah, just keep talking.
It's not that bad. Go
I
ahead.
put it there so you could almost reach it, but
I
you're kind of
can't
far.
reach the keyboard.
Yeah,
And I don't
because you got
remember.
the trifecta.
BM for bomb. What you mean? We're moving on. From that perspective, from the study, you can see the data that lines up with these claims. I guess since the order of it is Elijah's note first, we'll go through that, and then I'll read some short parts of the story. The study.
All right, so I'm reading the one that you hate. All right. I'm
Read
gonna
it
just
the
read
way I
word
like
for
to
word.
read it.
No, because then it would be confusing. Isaiah be trying to take me out of context. Come on now. I said, most creatures on Earth, obviously in our example including humans, are sexual in nature. Now,
All right.
the sexes are designed and meant to be compatible with each other in a bunch of different ways. And so I was going to say that when friends start to play into gender roles and interact and address each other in those specific ways, the relationship can become different from just friendship. So
Go ahead and read it the way it says.
I said relationship can become kind of spousal.
Now go ahead and read the next line.
Hold on, I gotta flesh it out first.
You're trying to create some
So-
separation.
Like in a relationship, I think in my experience, men like to be complimented on their masculine traits because it's different from like, I don't know.
Wow, you're so strong.
Yeah, it's different from saying like, what's a neutral trait?
You're smart.
Yeah, you're really smart or something like that. If somebody says, wow, you're such a, I I don't know. Like Tamaya said, you're so strong. That's built different as a guy. You're like, oh, I'm strong for real, or you make me feel so safe or something. Whereas girls don't want to be complimented on that same stuff. You say things that make them feel stronger on their feminine side. Mm-hmm. So like, Tamaya, what are some examples of that? You're a woman. You're a female.
Stop.
That's the I can't play into it.
You're a great cook.
Oh my!
Come on,
canceled.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You're pretty good with those kids.
Oh, you got women raging in the comments, bro. First of all, I would love to be complimented on my vacuum lines. I'll be working hard. But anyway.
Why?
Please say something
that's not misogynistic. I guess it's not misogynistic, but
put women in their place type of thing.
Yeah. You're pretty good at that kitchen stuff. That laundry is folded great.
I mean,
God,
wow.
That's terrible.
You're a good driver. She's a good driver.
Oh, okay. I'm never speaking to somebody again. No, I was just playing. But
what's wrong with that?
I guess, no, that's fine. Has anyone ever told you that?
No.
Yes.
Who?
You're lying. She said her father. She said it off the mic because she's lying. He
true.
Listens. Okay.
Comment, father.
I am your. Anyway, you tell a dude he's pretty. He'd have to be a lame dude to be like, oh yeah, oh I'm pretty. Because to be a dude, be a pretty dude is like an immature thing, bro. You don't want to be a pretty dude. You want to be.
There's such things
handsome.
as a pretty dude.
Well, yeah, but
let me not get into this on the pod.
What do you guys think about pretty dudes?
I'm just saying.
So when dudes are pretty, but a girl would want to be called pretty or beautiful,
yes,
or something like that because it's plays into their feminine
nature,
right? And so. An easy way to paint a picture of this is if you think about the dichotomy between, I love that word, between prepubescent children and adolescents. Like little boys and girls, single digits, ages. If a boy and a girl are friends, it's what is happening outside this room? I'm so sorry if you guys hear like some kind of feral beast outside. We don't know what it is either. Anyway.
Mountain Dew Code Red. Mountain Dew Code Red.
All right, anyway. But a little boy and a little girl, I think they can be best friends with no complications. Even if they develop some kind of crush on each other, they don't really get it. It's not going to be like something strange, but then...
I don't even think they would develop a crush.
This is true.
Well, it depends. Sometimes you just mirror what you see in life. Yeah. Like, I remember when I was like a little kid. I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but me and Secret used to hang... Can I say her name? Too late. Said it. Me and Secret used to hang out all the time. It's my cousin.
Hey.
Her name is Secret?
Mm-hmm. I think it's like her middle name or something.
Nope.
First name?
Yep. Anyway, how do you not know this?
She don't talk to me.
You a fake.
She's a hater.
No, right. I'm not going to deny that. I'm playing. But anyway, we hung out all the time. And we were obviously the best of friends. Because we, played on the playground, did whatever. She's my cousin. Now, I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Yeah, anyway. So I don't understand any of these concepts. So in my mind, I'm like, man, we hang out all the time. My parents hang out all the time, so we must get married. I hate that you use a soundboard instead of your voice. This is painful.
Oh my gosh. Bro, she's having a stroke on the other end.
I'm trying to say dangerous.
Like, come on, bro.
Dangerous.
Okay, fired.
No.
I'll get it.
Anyway.
I'm about to, look, I'm going to go through this recording. That's going to be the button. We're going to hit DG. It's going to be to my dangerous. When you begin to wonder.
But yeah, no, let's not lose them, though. What were you getting into?
I was getting into the fact that since I was young, none of these things made any sense. So you can't really base a friendship off of those things. It's not like men and women as they're 5 years old.
Right.
So it's not, I don't think it's an inherent thing. I think it's something that comes with age.
So yeah, but as you get older into your teen years, everyone wants to talk about hormones and puberty and all that stuff. Because I think that's when men and women really start to differentiate from each other in very significant ways. So, like a football team in elementary school could be boys and girls, and it doesn't matter. But a football team varsity has got to be either just guys or just girls, because otherwise there will be physiological differences, huh?
Hold on, though.
Don't say anything.
What?
I don't want to talk about that.
This is random.
Okay.
I can't say it?
No?
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Yes, I can.
All right, enjoy.
My theory is that I think it should all be integrated.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
No, hold on.
Oh, actually, I see what you're saying, and I might agree.
Let's say you have a woman who plays basketball, right?
Okay.
What can she do?
Tamaya.
She can play in the WNBA.
Shout out to Tamaya.
Nobody watches the WNBA.
No shout out for Tamaya.
No hate to the WNBA. It's just people don't watch it. Don't ask me why. I don't watch regular NBA. So, whatever. However, if it were more as though these are just the level of which you have to play basketball, and if you're this good, you're in the NBA, I'm certain that there would be some women that are good enough to play in the NBA on the national, the big teams, whatever.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the women's league versus the one everyone likes. That's a little, like separatists or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
If you are good enough to play basketball to this level, it shouldn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. You're just good enough.
Okay, yeah.
Play in the NBA.
I don't know. I feel like with sports, they're gonna get bodied. They're just not as big as.
That's football.
But
basketball in particular.
No, just because you're not. As,
If you're good enough, it shouldn't matter.
Or if a woman was just built strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
she Aki.
That like if she would
Wow,
fit
you're so
all this,
strong.
so it's not about necessarily their gender, but
about their physical
the
stature.
right.
Okay,
So
okay.
if someone of a different gender would meet that, then they should be able to play. Is what you're saying,
Yes,
hypothetically. Now,
No,
I won't.
Anything else? I didn't say anything. If you thought I had an opinion on something else you're thinking about, I didn't.
What else were you even thinking about, listener? Are
Yeah,
you serious? Don't
exactly.
judge a book by its cover.
All right.
Yes, we're thinking about that.
Back to the main point. I said I was going to
course.
read some of this. I should be the main course, like ketchup and mustard. All right.
Anyway,
You need to stop bringing that up.
I do.
I have to finish it every time. All right. I brought up the fact that it's mainly men who struggle with having just a friendship with a woman.
hate man.
Sorry, they suck, and I hate. All right, that hit the bomb. All right. So I'm just gonna read this out of Scientific American, a journal published. I will be candid. I'm not gonna read everything, and I will be secondly candid. Some of it is pretty biased. I'm not gonna lie. The data in here is fine, but the conclusions that some of them have come to a little bit targeted. But you know what? This is what we got. Okay.
Word up.
In order to investigate the viability of true, there's a fly on my hand. I'm starting over.
Is it fly?
The fly
Oh.
on the Fly podcast. Y'all know I'm
In order
wearing
to
podcast merch right now. I have the
in order
the long sleeve.
In order to
all right. Go ahead. I
Shout
just
out to the
had to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, cop merch for sure. In order to investigate the viability of truly platonic opposite-sex friendships, a topic that has been explored more on the silver screen than in the science lab, researchers brought 88 pairs of undergraduate opposite-sex friends into a science lab. Privacy was paramount. I'm not going to read all this verbatim. Basically, they're not allowed to talk about the study so as not to ruin the privacy or whatever. All right. They were separated and they asked them some questions. Men were more likely than women to think that their opposite sex friends were attracted to them. A clearly misguided belief. And you see, you didn't have to add that in, whatever this dude's name is. In fact, men's estimates of how attractive they were to their female friends had virtually nothing to do with how these women actually felt, and almost everything to do with how the men themselves felt. Basically, males assumed that any romantic attraction they experienced was mutual, and were blind to the actual level of romantic interest felt by their female friends. There's a whole lot of male and female here. I didn't write this, so I would have said men and women. Just
Female.
huh?
I just said female again.
Thank you. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, the general result was that men consistently overestimated the level of attraction felt by their female friends, and women consistently underestimated that same level of attraction from their male friends. So, to make a long story short, and I made it as short as possible, and it was still trash, is I guess in these friendships, men they're more likely to have this what if factor in their brain, where it's like, we're friends, we're just friends right now. But what if we weren't just friends? You know what I'm saying? What if we were actually more than friends? Oh, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
And there are some changes in society that have allowed for this to become more prevalent that someone else will read about or talk about. Society. When you begin to wonder why the Western society has changed. All right.
But yes, it must be acknowledged that in American society, a lot of things that have been different for a lot of history and all over the world are not so different anymore. So men and women have a lot of the same opportunities to be in the same positions, work in the same jobs, same titles, and whatnot. And so
they're around each other more.
Yeah, they get to be around each other in uncontrolled settings more often. It's not just in your homes that you'll see or talking to your neighbor that you'll see someone of the opposite sex, but working right next to you at your desk.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact.
That is, yes, true.
So yes, even in more recent times, particularly in America, there's an increase of women in the workplace, women in higher level places. I don't know what those are because I'm not in those. So,
damn.
In politics, so like even our VP right now is a woman. I think it's the first time ever. So, I don't think it is the first time ever, and that's interesting. And nowadays, women and men are, for the most part, offered the same opportunities. I don't want to really get into the people, they're not paid the same, and it's the glass ceiling. I don't know anything about that. I'm not a woman, so I don't really got to worry about it. But I'm playing. But those things are changing to where men and women are generally considered equals. Because of this, there's definitely an increased amount of interaction between men and women beyond just that could be my girlfriend or that could be my boyfriend. Now it's just that's
you're
my
not
coworker.
approaching each other
So
those just sound like facts. Do you think there's a problem with that, or where?
Nope.
I mean, obviously there can be problems with that, and there have been. You hear things about people cheating on their spouse with their quote unquote work wife or work spouse.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
But you could still be friends with a classmate or a coworker.
yes.
But I think it's important to keep those
Well,
things.
the question is, can men and women be friends? All right.
Stupid.
I didn't know what I was gonna say now.
I'm so sorry.
Nope.
Tamaya, would you consider any men to be your friends?
Yeah, I consider you guys my friends. So that's not dangerous. I mean,
she's just got the sound ingrained.
I mean, but friends as in we're like brothers in Christ.
Word up.
I don't think I would be your friends outside of church.
Ouch. Okay. So
No, that's true. She's just not. She knows she's not as cool as we are.
no, but so does
Or
that
vice
mean
versa.
other Christians who are men are your brothers in Christ also, or is there some kind of distinction? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
Nope.
What?
so, like if I say I wouldn't consider you to be my friend, but more of a sister in Christ, right?
Okay.
Do all people is everyone who is saved that's a girl also my sister in Christ, or do you have to actually know them?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So yeah, I feel like they're your. Okay, that's a little more complicated. No, I feel like there's you, for example, are more of my friend, even though like we're all brothers and sisters in Christ, there is more that you're closer to, just because of maybe like something like about your personality that you that clicked or something. I don't know, but there's people in church that even are, I would say, married. They are married, and I would consider them as a friend.
Right.
Not to like interfere into their relationship. I'm not by no means a close friend, but we hang out. Our church plays volleyball together. Like we have, we do. It's fun.
Fun fact.
We do
I talk about
scuba.
volleyball all the time on this podcast. First of all, next week is supposed to be the last one before they stop doing them for the seasonal change. I don't like that.
Oh.
But if I get to pick teams, Tamaya's always a good pick. She's a team player. Shout out to Tamaya.
Not because I'm a good player, just a team player. I'm a good team player.
She plays pretty good. Well,
Not last
by
week.
our standards. But none of us are actually good, so. But yeah. Anyway.
So for you guys, is there people in church? Do you have female friends?
I mean, not you, but no, I was playing.
It's okay if it's not me.
No, I would consider you. We talked about it before you ever knew you were going to be on this episode. And I would consider you to be. But then it is odd when there are others that you have been close with, but if it becomes strange, like, do you still consider them to be?
Absolutely
I don't know.
not.
Because you can't talk the same like you used to. Or you can't, like I can't confide. Because like we talked about before, if you have a friend of the opposite sex, maybe they wouldn't be the first person you confide in just because of the dynamics of all of that. You don't want the relationship to change in any kind of way. However, you could, as opposed to a stranger or somebody who's like an enemy or something. But like, you can't really confide in somebody who just got feelings for you or you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
or just because you have feelings for someone doesn't mean you should confide in them.
I think it's important to recognize, like, to have boundaries when it comes to certain like things, and trust your instincts when you feel like, hey, this is getting a little strange. Maybe it is getting strange. Or if you think there's like mixed signals, step back.
Yeah.
Step back. Just because I'm so cool.
Okay. Do you have
Can't
any
help
stories
it.
about you being so cool, or are you thinking someone else is so cool? Or neither of those things, but the step back part of it?
Sure. So there was like a couple years ago, I was at a conference or like a rally or something like that. And so for those who don't know, we go to like these conferences and it's like sermons and sermons and sermons. But then one of my favorite parts about conference is like the fellowship that comes with it. So often, like after like a church service, we'll go back to like the hotel and we'll like play games like Uno or something. And I love that. Absolutely love that. So this one particular time, we had like people over to play games, and like at first we started playing the game, but then slowly it just got into like, we'll just have conversation. And then after that, it got to like, let's all go around the table and say something about ourselves. And I'm like, oh. And then it was interesting because all the guys, and there was a mix of married and single guys there, as well as married and single women. But most of the single guys would be like, yeah, my job and my car.
They were in it to
then
win
so
it.
like when I kind of realized that, I'm like, wait, we're not here just to have fun or just to play games. This is like,
They're trying to get to that
honestly,
bag.
I felt like I was like, wait, am I on the menu? Like this is like strange. And immediately I just kind of drew back because I'm like, this is not what I want.
Right.
This is not my intentions here. And so even like I talked to someone that was there that goes to our church, and I was like, hey, I was not okay with that. I don't want to do that again, be put in that situation, because I don't think that's a healthy way to meet people.
Right.
Even if I was interested in someone there, I don't think that's a good way.
And so since it can be so precarious to be in a friendship with people of the opposite sex, then in some people's minds, it's like a discouraged idea.
Yes.
Like there are some cultures in religions in which men and women they're not even allowed to talk to each other. But in this case, in what we're talking about, I don't think it's as harsh in like a rule set, but like what your intentions are. So like, I'm allowed to talk to you
Yeah.
or to other female friends, but like to what extent does that go? So in order to avoid the things that we don't want, like friendships failing because people, get into weird attractions with each other or whatnot. Everyone talks about boundaries, how those are helpful in that because they enable you to have friends in a good way and not having to worry about the bad way. So what are some boundaries? Boundaries.
My overall thing is that if I have a guy friend, if he was to get into a relationship, not a lot actually has to change. Like, he doesn't have to stop texting me because we never did. Or he doesn't have to be like, oh, who am I going to hang out with today? Like, he doesn't have to be, oh, no, not Tamaya, because we never did. Like, outside of the things of church, like, that is what that's why we're friends. But it was never, like, a one-on-one thing ever. So
Right. So if you were texting or hanging out, then that would be
that makes it, that's dangerous. I really recommend nobody do that. You don't need to be texting people out, especially at certain times past like the nighttime. If I do text somebody of the opposite sex, I make sure there's a purpose to it. It's not just like, hey,
what up, bro?
what you doing? How's your like, it's no. If I really wanted to know how your day was going, I'd ask you maybe in person just to be polite. But no.
Is that a thing you've ever been forced to enact, or is that just your own personal outlook?
No, that's just what I've done. I didn't get a phone until I was like 16, so I didn't have that. I don't know. I had those things set in my mind by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard it said, even within church, that people don't talk past certain times to the opposite sex on the phone or anything because conversations tend to get weirder or more unhinged and whatnot. And I've been whatnotting it up in this episode, bro. Whatnot. All right, anyway, we'll wake y'all up. But were you about to say something?
Yeah, but I forgot. Oh, yeah, because, okay, hypothetically speaking.
You're
telling me, you say, hey, Tamaya, what's up? But it's like 10 o'clock at night. More than likely, I'm going to be like just in my bed. And I don't know.
She has some good habits.
I don't want you to be like, hey, what you doing? I'm just laying here in my bed.
Right.
Like, that's not.
Oh,
then
just laying here in my bed.
Exactly. And especially when you're texting that, there's lots of ways that can be interpreted.
Right.
And so when I text, I don't want it. There's no double-sided meanings to anything. Absolutely anything.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about something that came up in one of the more boring studies that we were reading. Is that I don't think it's just because I think the content of the things you talk about does get a little weirder because why are you talking? There's no way you're talking about what you're doing during the day or something that you need to know now or something like that because it's the middle of the night. Also, people will get sleepier. People say being sleepy is kind of like being drunk in that you make decisions that are foolish or not what you would typically support. But yeah. But one of the studies was talking about how the main difference between a male to male or female to me male or the main difference between same-sex friendships and mixed ones is when you get into a romantic relationship with somebody, there's like a certain kind of exclusivity that's there. So it's like, oh, it's me and you against the world.
Yeah.
And so whenever everyone else stops talking, stops hanging out, or whenever everyone else is not around, it's me and you still talking and hanging out. And that could be cool if you are married to this person. I think that's very good.
Yeah.
Because if you aren't attached to one another, then it's like, why are you even married? But when you're not married, that can be a big, big problem. So if you're texting someone of the opposite sex late at night, they know you're not texting everyone else late at night because everyone else is asleep.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, no matter what your intentions are, what the situation is, it is true that you guys have a special kind of access to one another. And in a lot of cases that can lead to craziness.
Also, you don't want to be, unless you're in like an actual relationship that's like, not like a more intimate relationship with them. I don't think you should be the last person on their mind before they go to sleep.
That's true too. Yeah, I think another thing that is criteria for being a friend rather than an acquaintance is that sometimes you might think of them when they're gone. Not like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so's doing. But, you know, like.
Because they're your friend.
Yeah.
You want to, like, hey.
So-and-so has a thing coming up. I wonder how that's going to be. Or, oh, I should get them a birthday present. Or I hope they're doing all right with whatever thing they were talking about before.
Like a caring relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas a total stranger, they don't come back to your mind because you know who the heck they are. But it's different if you're thinking about them like they're the prime position in your mind. And with anybody, honestly, that you're not married to or planning to marry, I think that is utterly dangerous because, like, what are you going to do with that besides make mistakes?
Yes.
Facts. My brother Israel has been hating on me for faxing my own statements, but no one else is going to do it for me, so facts. But yeah. So, but what I was saying before about useful boundaries, I think one of the most useful boundaries is age. Because, and this is not always the case, people get into some weird stuff, but one of the biggest problems with being in a friendship with someone of the opposite sex is that it's not a ruled out possibility that the two of you will end up getting together, getting married or something like that. So since the window for that possibility is open, then things can get kind of weird. But if there's somebody that would be unreasonable to be married to, like, for example, someone who's already married or somebody who's way out of your age or something like that, then you don't really have as much to worry about. Now, this only is true if you care about that. And so that works with Christians and with other people who hold similar values. But if you don't care about going outside of marriage or you don't care about, then it's not going to work. You look like you're about to say something.
So, yeah, I have a kind of story about that. So, a couple years ago, I was working at a school, and it was cool. I was a substitute, but I also did, like, before and after school. So, if parents had to go to work early, like, they could drop their kids off, and if they had to, like, be at work later, they could pick their kid up after school hours. And so, there's this one particular little boy. He was very nice, but he had a single dad taking care of him, his dad. And
I see where this is going.
Yeah, you could see where this is going because it started off with, like, I would get, like, nice, like, I would be brought coffee, which I'm like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Like, I needed coffee.
Coffee drinkers out there.
Yeah, some skooma.
Oh. No, those are not the same. Don't let us put that in your head. No.
Anyway, it started off with, like, being brought coffee, and then eventually it kind of got a little strange because I didn't think there was any, for me, like, this is a single dad with the whole, like, school-age kid.
Yeah.
And he was obviously in his 30s, and at the time I was, like, maybe 21, maybe?
21.
Oh, no, I was, like, 20. And I don't know. Like, he was maybe even close to 40. And so in my mind, I'm like, this is not a thing. But then when he asked me, like, I was like, oh, no.
Yes.
But I was hesitant because then the coffee had to stop. I'm just joking.
Oh, my gosh.
But
you're about to have everybody, like, really. Oh, my goodness.
No, but that's not everyone sees age as a thing. So you have to be careful because, yes.
I want to come back to the boundaries and age thing. But first, you mentioned you were hesitant. This was a joke. But as a joke, you said you were hesitant to reject him because the coffee would stop.
Yeah.
Now, obviously that's a joking example, but if it gets more, this is why it's dangerous to get into relationships with friends who are your peers, and then you start having feelings for each other, is that if only one person has the feelings for the other and does things that are unwelcome, like, I don't know, maybe bring you coffee all the time and that's cool, and then it's like, hey, do you want to be mine? Sorry, I had to reach over to the board.
Dangerous.
Do you want to hang out after hours?
Dangerous.
Do you want to just, put my son in daycare and we could go get coffee or something? Right?
Yeah.
Those unwelcome interactions are unwelcome. So then, because you've allowed it to get this far where you're mixed up in your friendship, if you want to deny those things, it's going to come at a cost. because you could be like, hey, I don't really see you that way. And then somebody could be like, what you mean? Oh, so you think I see you? And I was just trying to have a friendly cup of coffee. And now you just, and, or things can just blow up in any kind of way like that because, you're rejecting them.
And sometimes you honestly do enjoy somebody's company.
Yeah.
But especially when you're both are Christians, it's very important because you want them to make heaven their home.
Right.
So you don't want your friendship to put at risk their relationship with God.
Mm-hmm. That is very, very true. So now back to the age thing.
Okay.
Want to give another dichotomy. That's my word of the year. But so I was in school. I think this is my freshman year, sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And at the school, there are a lot of buildings that are really far apart from each other. So you do a lot of walking. And it was getting to the colder seasons, right? Not super cold, not dangerously cold. But there was a girl that was in like 3 of my classes, and we had pretty good chemistry, talked like in a friendly way. Everything was always funny and whatever. And I was like, okay, mm-hmm. that's that, right? And so, but one day, so I could see it kind of brewing. But one day it came to a head when we were outside. We're just walking back, and then she was talking to all her friends, and they're talking quietly and laughing. And then her friends are like, okay. And her friends just split off and go the other way. And now it's just her and me. And I know it's coming because it is 45, 50 degrees outside, winds blowing, and she didn't bring a jacket to school. She has no issues with poverty. That girl was kind of balling. She had a new outfit every day. You never see her wear the same thing twice. I know she owns jackets. I know she knows what the weather is. Mm-hmm. She be on that phone. Mm-hmm. She didn't have a jacket. This was a ploy.
Okay.
We're walking.
Was she like trying to show off her outfit or something?
No, but it was her friend's idea to be like, oh, hey,
get your jacket?
You guys go together and then he'll give you his jacket.
Oh.
Because I'm genuinely pretty nice at school. So they were like, oh, yeah, he's the guy. You'll get him. So we're walking. Oh, I talked about Israel before. He thought this story was very funny because I told him when I got home. But anyway, and this was kind of a rude gesture, I'm not going to lie. But we talked after, so it was cool. But so we were walking, and she's like, man, it's cold out here. And I was like, yeah, why didn't you bring a jacket? And we talked and laughed and kept going down the way. But then she was looking at me with like a smile that was like, dang, bruh. Not like that, but it was like, I don't know, like a dry smile, like, oh, man, come on, bruh, really?
Couldn't let me freeze out here?
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, be honest, that was your friend's idea, wasn't it? And she's like, yeah, because blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I think you're really cool as a person. I really enjoy us talking together, but we don't even know each other like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not planning to get into a relationship of any kind, but I was like, hey, next time if you really need a jacket, I'll give it to you. Don't worry about that. I don't hate your guts, but just I don't want to be weird. And she was like, yeah, I feel you. We continued to be friends for the rest of the year, but it was cool.
Was it awkward after that? Because a lot of times it is.
It was awkward between me and her. Mm-hmm. I mean, no, it was not awkward between me and her, but it was awkward between me and her friends because her friends never stopped trying, but she did. She was content with being friends, and we actually still had a good time and did other stuff. She didn't even bring it up. But her friends were always like, so have you given it a second thought? I'm like, bro, she don't even want to do that. Like, leave her alone. Mm-hmm. But whatever, right?
Yeah.
And here's the part where it becomes a dichotomy. Okay. You are old, right?
Wow.
Okay, you're not old.
I am almost 30, so it's okay.
Okay. They're going to think you're really almost 30. There's listeners that don't be jumping on the wall. All right, sorry. There's people. Yeah. Anyway, so we're on an impact team, and it's cold, and we were chilling, eating some ice cream or something.
Yes.
And I had a jacket, and it was hot to me, in my perspective. So I took it off. It was hanging on my chair. Tamaya did not think it was hot.
I was freezing. I had a jacket on, and I was freezing.
And so I was like, I guess she could probably. So I was hesitant at first, and I was like, oh no, she's old. It won't be a problem. So I gave her the jacket, and then it's whatever. But that is way different type of interaction there, and the age gap made it easy.
Yes. However, there was someone said something. I don't know if you remember that, but they were like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Because of the appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times you would, even with like male and female relationships, even if you guys are easily like platonic friends, or even with me and you, I'm obviously way older. People just naturally assume, oh, they must be together. And like how he gave her a jacket.
Yeah.
Like what?
And
like,
so,
you know?
yeah, about the appearance of it. That's another thing that makes it annoying to be friends with people of the opposite sex. Like, this is not a reason that you shouldn't talk to each other, but a reason that it can be more problematic than not is because a lot of people are always watching. They have theories and whatnot. Another whatnot for me. But, and yeah, we were on another Impact team recently, and my phone quality, the camera quality is not good. I asked Tamaya for her phone to take some pictures, and then I was just talking to her. The pastor's daughter of that church was like, hey, who's that girl over there? I'm like, what girl are we talking about? Do you need something? You have a question? She's like, oh, there she goes right there. I'm like, oh, yeah, Tamaya. She's like, yeah. Do you have her number? And I was like, well, yeah, I do, because we do song service together. Tamaya be playing the keyboard, if y'all didn't know. And I was like, yeah, I do.
Not the computer keyboard, though.
Yeah, no, this is all for me. Anyway. But then she's like, so are you going to ask her out? I'm like, bro, how old are you? 23, 2? 22. But so then after
Basically
that,
30.
it was completely normal. I went over to Tamaya, and the girl was embarrassed, so she left. But I was like, bro, she really just asked me if I was going to ask you out. And it was like a funny moment. But if it was somebody my age and more comparable in life circumstances, I'd be like, oh, that girl just asked me if I was going to ask you out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't see it, but I was biting my lip just now. But like, it's like, oh, what's she going to say? Ew, why would you even ask that? Or she's going to be
cuties.
like, that wouldn't be so bad of an idea. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's not even on the table because, yeah.
There is no table.
There's not even a table in this circumstance. Facts. And the same thing goes if you're married to someone else or your friend is married to someone else and you guys actually care about the value of the marriage, then you're not going to have as many problems because you're not going to entertain the possibility that you would be with that person. It doesn't even make sense. So, yeah.
Isaiah, you've been quiet.
Y'all thought he had left. He's been right here.
Laughing at my keyboard joke. But
You're welcome, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Weapons of mass destruction.
I don't got anything to say.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about this note of yours? The term itself. In itself. I can't read, y'all. I got 5%. That's why my phone brightness.
The term just friends. Yes.
Guys, I'm just chattering. I'm sorry. Not because I'm cold, but because I'm tired.
Huh?
Like, I don't think it-
Wait, what? You get cold like
I don't know.
hypothermia from being sleepy?
I don't know, but I'm getting tired.
Pray for
because I'm
Tamaya if you
cold.
know her, y'all.
Yeah.
Only if you know it. We're going
Episode
back into
19.
This.
Thank you. That's that Josh Danke origin.
That skooma addiction.
Dang. Y'all want skooma merch?
I'm just saying that she's off that.
That cranky?
Skooma on
she
a coffee
started-
cup.
She's twitching. Anyway.
Got
all right.
skooma?
So the term just friends, and I know we're at an hour, 3 minutes already. So
They listening hard. If they're listening to
what is that coming through?
if
It
y'all hear me
sucks.
glitching like Megatron, no you don't.
It's making me not want to talk. Maybe that's why I'm not talking. Is I'm upset that nothing's working right. But that's
It's all
okay.
working, I believe you.
The
I believe
term
in you.
just friends implies that friendship is some kind of downgrade from a romantic relationship. What? You see, I got thrown off because something is here I didn't write. Go ahead.
Oh, that was
Elijah.
me. I said that.
What's it say?
I said when you hear the term like just friends, I mean, it doesn't have to be put right here, but like, oh, it's just be friends. Because I've said that, like, someone has been trying to be like forward to me and like, hey, like, what if we're more than just friends? And I'm like, oh no, we're okay with just friends. But it always has like the connotation of it's like it's not going any further. Like friend zone, that's what it's called. It's friend zone.
And the friend zone to many is not a good place to be. Even though having a friend is like
awesome.
You need it sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional with it. You in that song.
Is it? Not strong.
I don't know that song at all.
What?
Huh? I don't know that song.
He's fired.
Oh.
Boom.
So, okay.
I can't reach the keyboard.
Oh, hit the right buttons. Let me see if you can.
He's fired.
I thought you were going to go for the small one. She hit the bomb. Having too much fun in here.
Does she know the small one?
I don't.
Try
That's
it.
exactly what I'm saying.
Take your best guess.
It's called a vine boom.
There you go.
Okay, he's fired.
Speaking of being fired, though, I apparently have mentioned being fired from my job in another podcast episode. That was a joke. I didn't actually get fired. Somebody reached out to me today and was like, bro, you got fired? I guess I said that. It was a joke. The job ended because it was an internship for students, and I had to go back to being a student for the fall. But yeah.
Incredible.
My bad. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, yes, the conversation when you got to be like, let's just be friends, comes after someone tries to make some kind of advance towards, I guess, making the relationship more than just a friendship. And that's not what this podcast is about, whether or not that's okay or not. So make your conclusions as you will. Saying something is just blank is usually thought of in a negative connotation. So, for example, I'm just going to read the examples I have here.
Hey.
You might say, oh, he's just an assistant professor.
Dang.
Or, oh, Tamaya's just trying to seem nice.
Dang.
Really, she's
Just
not.
trying.
Or, yeah, they can't. Too much power. They can't do something cool. They're just kids.
Dang.
Or,
That's
oh, yeah,
cool.
no, don't worry. They're just friends. Ah, you see what I did there? I know. That's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I guess even just the way that it's talked about, the way that friendship between men and women is described, it already has like this connotation of if your aim isn't something more than friendship, then you have failed, I guess, is the way they look at it. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say regarding that.
It's just the truth. Some people feel bad about being friends and not moving on to a different type of relationship because it's regarded as something that's higher. When in reality, it's not necessarily. I mean, okay, if you guys are going to be together forever in holy matrimony, then there's something more. If y'all are like just trying to kick it for a night, that's you could be less than friends and do that. So, but yeah.
Don't say yeah, that's just my spouse. It's whatever. It's
You
not
know,
cool.
I mean, we're just married.
We're just married. We're just friends.
nothing really.
Nothing serious. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Are these yours at the bottom?
Those were mine, but we kind of mentioned
my
it.
gosh.
Just that, I think you should treat people as you want to be treated. Golden rule. No, the Bible talks about like in 1 Timothy 5:2. It says to treat older women as you would your mother, and to treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sister. And I think it's the same. Like treat someone. As for females, treat them as like you would your father or your brother. You can do that. You can be friends, and yeah, I think it should be that simple. Sometimes it's not, but if you find yourself struggling in this area where like every time you have like a female friend or every time you have a male friend, you constantly have these thoughts where you want to take it further, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Dang.
Maybe you can't.
Maybe you can't take it further, or maybe you can't be friends.
Maybe you just can't have friends like that.
Dang, that's real. All right. I will say, and this is kind of an issue with growing up next to people that you still know later, is that a lot of these things that mess up friendships and involve the overstepping of boundaries involve great levels of immaturity. And even though these things are not directly linked, like you don't have to be old to be mature or be young to be immature, maturity and age kind of go together in a certain way. Because as you gain more experience, you gain more understanding of what the heck you're doing. And I'm not innocent of like walking into weird traps or starting things that mess up friendships, or not stopping things that also mess up friendships and whatnot. And I think that's it. Just putting that out there. I don't think anybody has a perfect record, but try your best. As soon as you enter into the idea of knowledge, try your best to operate wisely.
Yes.
I think it was said in another episode that you shouldn't plant a seed where you don't want something to grow. And
Facts.
because
Gotcha.
now you could be dealing with trees that you planted at 13 years old, and
I
you're
love
like,
how you didn't acknowledge the same
know,
facts for you.
I did say facts for you.
oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't care.
That was just for you, Tamaya. That was a nuclear. All right, she turned it off. I don't know how to feel now. No, but yeah, you could be surrounded by trees later on in life because of your foolish decisions.
What? Wait, when did you start talking about trees?
So we went like to this botanical garden, and
What?
I'm just kidding. I don't know where I was gonna go with that. I promise it made sense though. You were just saying something, but the bombs though, they got like in between.
Okay. We're done.
Yeah.
I think so.
What do you guys think?
I do
Dang,
want
let me
to
back
pose
up.
a question to the listeners. I think the question shouldn't be, can men and women be friends? I think the question should be, can you have men or women friends depending on your gender?
Sure.
Yeah. So you
It's a
think?
personal question.
Do you
not
think
a
there's an
general.
answer to the general question?
Yeah, no.
My general to that is yes, because you can see them. I don't know. I don't think it should be a general question.
Okay.
I don't think it should be that's my answer. It's not a general question.
For the sake of the people insatiably waiting for an answer. Hello, am I there? For an answer to the general question. Sorry about the audio difficulty. I think yes, in the way that it is possible, but that doesn't say anything about how it's probable or easy in anyone's particular case. So take it with a grain of salt.
Sure. That was a lot of words.
I hate you.
I'm just being,
That's what I think.
I'm just spitting that real.
Letting your mind speak. But yeah, so like we said before, if you were listening earlier, now's your time. Make that comment with your final opinion about the question of the day.
Yeah.
Tamaya, do you want to do the secret word?
We're not there yet.
Oh,
At all.
that's after. Word up. Oh, I guess so, because it's at the end of the end. I've never heard of a secret word. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What's a secret?
So this is a Christian podcast, if you have not picked up on this yet.
Correct.
And anybody can be a Christian.
Despite all references to the thunderclap and
No doubt.
the
No doubt.
blinding lightning. All right. Stop, though.
Anybody can be a Christian. And the truth is that not everybody is a Christian. But anybody could be if you make a decision. A very important decision. This decision can determine the course of the events in your life here on earth and will definitely determine where you spend your life after this life on earth. Whether that be with God in heaven or away from God in hell. Anybody has a chance to make both, and it's up to you. And so we believe the Bible says that God is a loving father. He knows how to give good gifts, and he understands all things, has all power to do everything. So if you have struggles or concerns and confusions inside of your heart that you don't think that whatever you've tried already, like billions of dollars or relationships with people or drugs or whatever can fix, God is the one thing that can fix them. And then there's the whole thing about your eternal destination. So if you are interested in fixing any of those issues and you're curious about wanting to get closer to God, or maybe you've known God in the past, congestion, or maybe you've known God in the past and you're far away from him.
Yuck.
Yeah, that was a little bit gross. You can get back right, but you got to make that decision as quoted before. So we're going to lead you in a prayer. You're not going to say this prayer to someone else or the world around you or the universe, but God is real and he hears you. And so talk to God. So yeah, just repeat after me. Say, "Dear Lord, I acknowledge that I'm a sinner and that I don't know you, but I believe that you love me and that your power is sufficient to save me from my sin and its effects on my life. I pray that you would come into my heart and that you transform me and make me new and let me be a son or a daughter of you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen."
Amen.
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 It didn't have the tremble, but it wasn't bad.
It was.
Amen.
It's just not.
Amen.
I can't do it.
Amen.
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 Anyway, if you just said that prayer and you meant it, then congratulations. You are a real Christian.
You're in the Winners Club.
Talk to somebody. Talk to God. Get connected for free. Because
It's education.
somebody is frowning so hard right now. That was an advertisement. Anyway, but yeah, because that is one of the most important relationships you could ever have. It is the most important relationship you will ever have is your relationship with God. It'll get you through a lot. And so do whatever you got to keep that up, and you'll keep growing and learning, and life's going to get real good.
Yes.
Now it's time for the final words to the listeners.
He messed that up.
How?
Oh, never mind. He didn't mess it up. I thought you were trying to say secret word.
No.
My fault.
Including the secret word, though. And you know what, Isaiah?
What?
I forgive you.
Aww.
And I love you.
That button's not there anymore.
And
I
hate you. And thank you, bro. Tamaya is a professional. So that's what happens if you get a real listener as a guest. They're unstoppable.
Ooh, that's a secret. Oh wait, we can't say that. It's not the secret word.
What's the secret word?
No, you can say it now.
I can say it.
Yeah, because it's for the people who listen this far.
It's unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
That's kind of hard. No, it's not. They won't know.
They won't know.
Sick.
I mean, I can change it. My other word was going to be facts.
Absolutely not.
Facts.
Not facts. It's facts.
I mean, somebody might include that by accident, though.
Facts.
What's
You
the
know what
Ooh,
I'm saying?
see?
Oh,
Unstoppable. No, not that one.
Yes.
Unstoppable's good. Unstoppable's good.
Yeah.
Think of a
Logic
creative way to
swayed
put
you.
it in your comment, y'all. That's how we know that you're a real one, that you listen to this far, you're dedicated, interested. It doesn't really earn you anything but a ton of respect from the members of the Fly Podcast.
So
Hallelujah.
actually, it earns you a whole lot, actually.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying. All right. Obviously, dang, that clap goes on forever and it sucked. All right. Sorry.
Do water clapping.
Yes.
Which is very hard to do. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's rough.
Thank you, Tamaya. Yeah, but I think we've all tried it, so I can't hate it. But that was super random.
We appreciate y'all very much.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Obviously, we didn't come to
Me
any
too.
about this topic. We didn't come to a conclusion, I guess. Like, we had our opinions that which we relayed to y'all, but obviously we want to hear what you think. If you think there's an aspect of this conversation that maybe we didn't explore as much as you may have wanted, put it in the comments. Let us know. Oh, but excuse me, did you think about this? You guys didn't even talk about this. Go ahead. I didn't mean to mock you. I'm not mocking you. I
Not
promise.
at all. No.
Go ahead and put that in the comments. I want to see it. I want to read it. But yeah,
If there's a perspective on this specific issue that you think we are not qualified to address, and you're like, no, you have to do it with so and so. If that's like a valid request, we might be able to do a part 2. But it has to be different enough from our own perspective to be its own episode, or else you guys are gonna hate it because it's the same thing.
yeah,
But if I'm just putting that out there, if you have thoughts.
yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening. Check out the merch.
Hey, I got it on
mention
right
it.
now.
Gotta mention it.
Ooh, something is very wrong with this. But now that you guys can hear me, I have the merch on right now. I have the long sleeve Josh Danke newsletter thing. It's just comfortable. It's reliable. It looks great. And I'm not biased.
Yeah.
So when you put all those together, buy merch right now.
Wait.
Tamaya has merch.
I do have merch.
She does.
I have more merch coming in the mail. It's just taking a long time.
Nice.
I'm a Josh Danke shirt.
Understandable. You got a short sleeve or long sleeve?
Short sleeve.
Cool. I think that's the first thing that was ever purchased.
Yeah, that's smart. You know, winter's starting. Get some short sleeves.
Okay.
I got a sweatshirt. I put over it.
No, you just been hated on.
Yeah.
That was cold.
I mean, no, I'm returning it.
Dang, can you even do that?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
have no idea.
They not gonna return that money to you while they're there.
Probably not.
Oh, also regarding the merch, I don't know how you can do it, but could you, listeners, like put your size, like as a, like, because it's hard to know the sizes to get based on like how did it fit? Was it true to size? Was it small? You could leave that in the comments maybe.
Yeah, if you did
don't-
get some
yeah.
merch and you're like, hey, I usually wear this size and I got this size and it doesn't fit or it does fit, that'll be useful information.
I mean, I'll say it right now. I got a size small in the sweatshirt, and if I was a dude, I couldn't wear a size small. So I'm trying to say that.
Don't know what that means.
Just because, I mean, unless you're smaller than me, those who know me in person, you can see me as a reference. But yeah, that makes sense. Like if I had broader, because the length,
The length of the arm.
the length of the arms is a little short. Okay,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
a little
yeah,
short.
yeah.
It's a
Okay,
little
there.
short. There you go. It's a little short.
That's all you had to.
Sorry, I don't know how to
there
say
it is.
that. What? This?
Yes.
Oh, dangerous.
Never mind. Never do that again.
Look,
We might have, that's
cut
okay.
this episode,
But that
please.
specific one might have to be the button. If you think that last
That was
dangerous
good.
that Tamaya
You
did should
laughed
be the
too
new
much.
button since we laughed the
Timestamp
old
the best
one,
dangerous.
yeah, and yeah, then comment that, and if we agree, then we'll put
signing
it.
off on this.
Anyway, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Hey, man.